This is WKYT This Morning.
Hey, good morning. Up and at it on your Thursday. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. It is February 4th.
And we're right now hitting 629, running just a little early this morning. There is trouble at the IRS. How a computer glitch is impacting people who are trying to file their tax returns.
A Kentucky family infected. That's what they say while on a mission trip to Haiti with Zika.
We'll have the details on that, and you'll also find out how 3 men accused of killing a UK student are trying to get out of jail before the trial begins.
Pretty chilly start to the day. We are just above freezing outside. It's not all that bad, but heads up, maybe even a few flurries flying across the sky. Once we hit the afternoon, it's not going to rise that much more, maybe 2 to 3 degrees from where we are now. So a chilly day, but we get better in the next few days. Bottom drops out next week and gives us those multiple snow chances. I'll have that in your forecast coming up.
All right, Micah, thank you. In the news, you may be one of those having trouble getting your tax return to Uncle Sam early this year.
Yeah, the IRS is saying that a computer glitch is causing some problems. WKYT's Mark Barber is live to explain what we need to know.
Good morning, Rebecca. And this IRS computer glitch can be very frustrating if you're ready to receive an early tax refund from Uncle Sam. Now, the IRS says they are aware that they're having computer problems and they're working to fix it. They hope to have everything resolved soon. But for now, their electronic filing system is still down. Now, they're blaming this problem on a hardware failure. They say that this happened yesterday and it kept them from receiving electronic returns, and it also crashed their service that allows them to track refunds. If you filed a return when the system was down, the IRS says that could affect when you will receive your refund. They say it could take longer than 3 weeks to return refunds to about 10% of the people who tried to file taxes electronically after their systems crashed. There is nothing you can do to help this process along. The IRS says if you have already submitted your return, you just have to wait for them to fix their computer problems. Now, if you do plan on filing your taxes today through a middleman, say TurboTax or another company that would help you file your taxes electronically for you, the IRS says they will not be able to receive those submissions until this problem is resolved. As far as when it can be fixed, well, everything is still quiet at their location here in Lexington, but they say they are working hard to get everything back up and running. They hope to have the issue resolved later today. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Well, this morning, a man is in jail accused in a deadly shooting at a central Kentucky stockyard. State police charged Eric Saylor of Lancaster with murder. He was already in the Marion County Jail on other charges. Police say Saylor shot 53-year-old Shane Thomason Monday at the Washington County Livestock Center. Thomason was also from Lancaster. He died at a Louisville hospital. Police have not said what they think led to the shooting.
Cases of the Zika virus have now been confirmed in Texas and in Florida. And this morning, a Kentucky family says it was hit with the Zika virus while on a mission trip in Haiti. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is at our live desk with that story. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. The Southern Kentucky family has been living in Haiti for more than a year. Their 21-year-old son, Chantry, went to visit his family during Christmas break. That's when the Murray State University student says he began not feeling well. Then the entire Carroll family became sick from the Zika virus. Their symptoms range from a headache, swollen hands and feet, a body rash, and even symptoms similar to strep throat. Each member of the family had different symptoms, including Chantry's dad.
I was broken out with a rash all over my body, and so then the next day I stopped itching. I felt like I got hit by a train. I hurt all over and just didn't feel good.
Now everyone in the family is feeling better, and Chantry is back in Kentucky. The World Health Organization says the virus is, quote, spreading explosively. Brazil's president says the Zika virus has gone from a distant nightmare to a real threat against the Brazilian people. In an attempt to get ahead of this virus, a health emergency has been declared in the United States down in Florida. The fear is that Zika will enter the local mosquito population there. Here in Kentucky, the virus is not known to be circulating in the mosquito population. At the live desk, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Michelle, thank you. And Florida's governor will address the public today amid growing concerns about the Zika virus there. Governor Rick Scott declared a health emergency in 4 counties in southern Florida after at least 9 cases of the mosquito-borne virus were detected in the Sunshine State. Health officials in Texas are still evaluating the first known case of the virus transmitted in the United States through sex.
New on WKYT this morning, a frightening situation for a woman led to the arrest of a a Lexington man. 26-year-old John Jarrett is in the Fayette County Detention Center facing kidnapping and wanton endangerment charges. Police say he grabbed a woman yesterday and forced her into his car. The victim told police her feet were hanging from the vehicle as he drove off. According to court documents, the victim said the suspect choked her and held a tool to her neck. Police arrested Jarrett at Man o' War and alumni a short time later. 3 men charged with the murder of a University of Kentucky student are asking for, quote, reasonable bonds. The Herald Leader says Roman Gonzalez, Justin Smith, and Efren Diaz Jr. will make their case in court tomorrow. The 3 have been in jail since April of last year. Police say they shot and killed 22-year-old Jonathan Kruger during a robbery near Maxwell Street.
Now 6:34 our time on WKYT this morning, and the tributes are continuing for Georgia Davis Powers, a civil rights icon and the first African-American woman elected to the state Senate in Kentucky. Powers died last Saturday at the age of 92. Powers will lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda this afternoon from 1:30 until 4, and a memorial service is set for 2 p.m. Powers was elected to the state Senate back in 1967 and served there for 21 years. Governor Matt Bevin has directed that flags at all state office buildings be lowered to half-staff today in honor of Senator Powers. Bevin says Powers will be remembered for breaking down barriers to advance the cause of civil rights. A bill that would crack down on what some call the devil's drug is gaining traction in Frankfort. Police say the use of Flakka and other synthetic drugs is spreading across the country. They say it causes anxiety, paranoia, and suicidal thoughts, and is worse than heroin.
I'm not sure they're in the right mind, but they're crazy. They're dangerous, not only to my staff that's responding, but we've had instances there in Lewis County where they've just run into somebody's home and said somebody was chasing them, and that's dangerous.
House Bill 4 would make both possession and trafficking of synthetic drugs felonies instead of misdemeanors. It is now headed to the full House for consideration after clearing the House Judiciary Committee unanimously.
A 76-year-old Breathitt County man is recovering after having to be rescued from a flooded creek. Firefighters say the man lost electricity at his home and was headed to a neighbor's house on a four-wheeler. When he tried to cross a creek near Jackson, his ATV flipped. Because of heavy rains Tuesday night, the man ended up stranded. People nearby saw what happened and called for help. Firefighters say it only took a few hours for the man to be rescued, but he is expected to be okay.
A grand jury has indicted a man who is accused of shooting a Kentucky police officer last month. Kenneth Probus faces more than 10 charges, including 3 counts of attempted murder. Louisville police say he shot at Shively police officers while they were serving a warrant at his house. They say Officer Wes Singleton survived being shot.
Well, police say a burglar stole more than $1 million worth of antique coins from a Louisville home. Surveillance video shows the man walking up to the victim's home the night of the burglary. The victim was out of town. Along with the coins, police say the burglar stole cash and jewelry. The coins were made for political campaigns during the 19th century. Police have not made any arrests. A Kentucky museum dedicated to a literal interpretation of the Bible is planning to nearly triple its size. The Creation Museum in Boone County wants to build a new 3-story building, which would include a large hall for traveling exhibits. They say it would be built where the current guest parking lot is. It's part of the museum's 3-year plan. Let's get a check of traffic right now and see what's happening.
Time this morning is 6:37, bright and early and ahead of the rush hour. Let's check in with Officer Don and look at live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Well, inbound Tates Creek Road just past the circle. Had a report of a non-injury collision. It should be over to the right, so not a big deal. And that left turn lane to the inner loop is still moving without any major issues on Tates Creek Road. Getting a live look outside right now, you can see inbound Nicholasville Road from Jessamine County, pretty much steady past Brannon Crossing, and no major problems to report. A little red inbound Richmond Road, of course, that's a left turn lane to the inner loop, always backing up this time of the morning. Drive times should be okay for now with no major issues from Nicholasville, 16 minutes, from Versailles, 10, from Paris, about 18. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, and Officer Don and Deanne are on 98.1 The Bull. When you get in your car this morning, this reminder as well, you can...
Okay, what do you want this to be?
Well, we're listening to Don instead of...
Let's listen in,
yeah,
shall
what
we?
are they going to say right there, huh? You can get the latest traffic and weather information anytime. The WKYT Weather Plus Traffic app. Download that for free in the app or Google Play stores.
Free is always good, you know?
Yeah, it's a good price. More news coming up Thursday here on WKYT This Morning.
Well, they answered the call for jury duty, but got an unexpected response. More on the hotline mix-up that left some jurors hot and bothered.
Chilly conditions out there this morning, and we head off into the afternoon, still staying chilly. Better Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but boy, does winter fight back next week. I'll have that with your snow and your forecast coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
So we're starting off in the 30s. We're going to finish in the 30s for the most part, where they have the clouds laying around and also those winds out of the northwest. Kind of hard to really heat some things up when you have that. We're at 33 now in Lexington. If you're stepping out the door, you will need a light coat. And you know what? You'll need to hold on to that toward the afternoon, too. Look at your afternoon temperature, 36 to about 40. 40 down south, mid-30s elsewhere. So you'll need a coat all day long. We talked about this the past few days, that this is your coldest day throughout the rest of the week, off into your weekend as well. Next week is a different story, though. I'll show you that in just a few minutes. Off into your evening. Good news here is there's nothing falling out of the sky. Maybe a couple of flurries this morning, but nothing that's going to stick, nothing that's going to cause any issues. I promise you that. Tomorrow, lower 40s, off towards your weekend, mid-40s, both Saturday and Sunday. Those look pretty good. You got any plans with that weekend? It's just fine. There's nothing going on, so anything you have going on, it looks like it's going to be smooth sailing. Then we look toward next week. Let's talk about going off into Sunday night into Monday. That's when we could have some issues in the forecast. Jet stream, big jet stream dip as we slide into your Sunday off into your Monday. Sunday night into Monday morning, that jet stream dips south of us, and that'll allow that cold air to invade. And not only that, but a little bit of moisture mixing in too. So you'll look at widespread snow on Monday and on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I think it kind of withers away. But those 2 days, widespread snow, there's no doubt about that. We'll at least have that snow chance in the forecast Monday and Tuesday. However, how much are we expecting? There's not a lot of moisture with this. That means, yes, it's widespread. Yes, virtually everybody will at least see some snowflakes. But not everybody will actually pick up good accumulation. I mean, we're talking, as of right now, I was just looking at different weather models, just new data just about an hour ago. And all these models are spitting out maybe for both of these days, Monday and Tuesday, maybe ½ inch to about 2 inches altogether. So this isn't a big snowmaker, but that is just enough to cause some problems there across these roadways. So just keep in mind, next week we have at least that shot at winter fighting back, multiple chances, but still some light accumulation. Here's your 7-day forecast, 36 today, and then we get off into the next few days in the 40s. That's actually at or above average heading off into your weekend. Pretty good weekend in store, but Monday and Tuesday, off into Wednesday, I think that's going to be a big talker there at work today after seeing that forecast that virtually everybody will see at least some flakes, but not everybody will see good amounts of snow. So this isn't a big snowmaker. It's coming in from the north, lacks moisture, but it doesn't lack cold air. I can promise you that.
It looks like
big
it, yeah.
shot at it. 19 degrees for a high on Wednesday of next week.
It's back.
Return to winter.
That's
All
right.
right. Thank you, Micah. 6:44 right now.
Well, some jurors calling to see if they needed to show up for court got an unexpected surprise at the other end of the line.
You could say that. At least 350 jury summons with the incorrect phone number were sent out to potential jurors in Jackson County, Mississippi. Instead of being the number to the court, the summons instructed them to call a sex hotline.
I heard for hot girls, press 1. For hot guys, press 2. And I went ahead and hung up. I knew that wasn't right, and it wasn't the courthouse.
It's very embarrassing. I'm sure at some point down the road, you know, I may sit back and laugh. Right now, I don't think it's very funny.
Oh,
I'm
Randy.
sure he doesn't, right? The circuit clerk's office has a contract with the company to send out the summons, and they draft the telephone numbers. He said he plans to get to the bottom of what happened and to send out apology letters to the jurors.
I guess on some level, it should be comforting to know that these things are still around. You know, I mean, given all the technological advances we have.
What's that?
The sex lines, the telephone lines are still around.
I guess they
are.
A
relic of the past is what I thought they were, but
there you go.
There you go.
6:45, trouble for the court down there in Mississippi. More news is coming up this morning on WKYT. We hope you'll stay with us.
More news when we return.
Coming up, the latest on the Republican race from New Hampshire, including Donald Trump's Twitter rant against Ted Cruz, plus new concerns about the Zika virus in the U.S. as Florida's governor declares a health emergency. More real news coming up on CBS This Morning, next.
Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. It's your Thursday. The time right now is 6:49. New this morning, a Kentucky family now claims to have caught the Zika virus while in Haiti.
The Carroll family has been living there for more than a year while on a mission trip. Their son Chantry currently attends Murray State University. He went to Haiti over the Christmas break to visit, and that's when he and his family began to get sick.
Chantry got it, and I didn't know what it was. When you're a mom, you just can't stop. You just have to power through the pain.
I mostly just had a headache and hurting behind my eyes the whole time, really badly.
Well, everyone in the Carroll family is feeling better. Chantry's back in Kentucky. The World Health Organization says the Zika virus is spreading explosively.
There is some developing news in the Derby City this morning. Police there questioning a person about the deadly shooting of a store clerk in Louisville. It happened during a robbery at the stop-and-go liquor store near the U of L campus. Police say the suspect demanded money and then opened fire, killing the employee. Police later stopped a car on I-65 near the scene. They tell us they are still questioning that person. New this morning, a frightening situation for a woman leads to the arrest of a Lexington man. John Jarrett is facing kidnapping and wanton endangerment charges. Police say he grabbed a woman and forced her into his car. The victim told police that her feet were hanging from the vehicle as he drove off. And according to court documents we've obtained, the victim said that the suspect choked her and held some sort of tool to her neck.
3 men charged with the murder of a University of Kentucky student are asking for, quote, reasonable bonds. The Herald Leader says Roman Gonzalez, Justin Smith, and Efren Diaz Jr. will make their case in court tomorrow. The 3 have been in jail since April of last year. Police say they shot and killed 22-year-old Jonathan Kruger during a robbery near Maxwell Street.
The city of Lexington now taking a closer look at how it notifies people during emergencies. It comes after Saturday's massive fire that destroyed the Bluegrass Stockyards and some nearby businesses. The Herald Leader is reporting the city used a phone system that only calls landlines to alert people living nearby about the fire. The city says it is now looking into other emergency management notification systems that also use cell phone numbers. Rand Paul has ended his presidential campaign after that 5th place finish in the Iowa caucuses, but the lasting impact could be a caucus here in his home state. Kentucky Republicans changed their election calendar to hold a presidential caucus coming up on March 5th so that Paul could run for president and also for re-election to his U.S. Senate seat at the same time. Paul even donated $250,000 to pay for the caucus himself. Well, now that Paul is out of the race, he is not backing away from the caucus. He will be footing the bill for Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Donald Trump, and the other candidates as they contend for Kentucky's 46 Republican delegates.
Well, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders face off in their 5th Democratic debate tonight from New Hampshire, which holds the nation's first primary next week. The candidates traded jabs over their progressive values during a town hall event yesterday. On the Republican side, Donald Trump and Ted Cruz remain locked in a war of words following Trump's 2nd place finish in the Iowa caucuses. Well, the Broncos and Panthers may be practicing for the Super Bowl, but another team is also getting ready for the biggest game of the year. Jamie Yukas got a sneak peek at what goes into broadcasting Super Bowl 50.
Testing graphics is just a small part of what the CBS Sports production crew does to get ready for the Super Bowl.
I think when you walk into this room, what's so impressive is all the monitors.
CBS Sports Executive Vice President Ken Agard has worked on close to 20 Super Bowls.
We've got all the bells and whistles known to mankind in sports broadcasting.
There will be 70 cameras capturing the sights and sounds, including more than 30 that will be mounted around the stadium for a 360 view. That's on top of a camera mounted to a plane and another on a tower at Great America Amusement Park.
This is super high tech.
Yeah, super high tech. Yeah,
Sometimes you just got to use a marker.
Right.
There will be 16 of these pylon cameras that mark each corner of the end zone. The 13 production trailers on site at Levi's Stadium were brought in a month ago. while the set is still getting its finishing touches.
This is where all the hosts will be sitting on Super Bowl Sunday, and they're the ones who have to really embrace the technology.
I hope it's made me a little smarter in TV.
This technology helps give him some information that he can analyze and make it interesting visually.
But beyond what they do on the broadcast, the commentators now also have to connect with fans on social media.
It's overwhelming for the old timer here. I got to be honest with you.
All to make sure there's super coverage for the tens of millions of fans tuning into Super Bowl 50. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Santa Clara.
Should be exciting. The game clock is 60 minutes, but with pregame coverage, timeouts, penalties, and those commercial breaks, analysts expect to be on TV for more than 7 hours on Sunday. You can see all the action right here on WKYT.
Going to be exciting coming up this Sunday. Lots of folks are building their weekend plans around that. 6:54, and right now on WKYT.com, we are staying on top of the problems that the IRS is having with its computers. The government has stopped accepting electronically filed returns for now until the troubles are resolved. CBS This Morning will have more on that coming up shortly. Also trending, concerns about the Zika virus grow. Florida's governor now declaring an emergency in 4 counties. And that family from western Kentucky who believes they contracted Zika during a trip to Haiti. We'll have more details as we get them in on that. Senator Rand Paul, as we've reported, left the race for the White House yesterday, and those responding to our web poll indicate they think that was a good idea for Paul to drop out of the race for the White House. More than 92% of those responding agree with Paul's decision to leave the race. Country music superstar Garth Brooks returning to Kentucky. Brooks and his wife Trisha Yearwood will play at the KFC Yum Center on Saturday, April 9th, and the tickets for that will go on sale a week from tomorrow. That's really buzzing on the web right now. The Versailles mayor is proposing that an old school that was closed back in 2006 would be a good location for the police department. Our content partners at Kentucky.com have more on that this morning, and they also have a rundown of the UK recruiting class after the commitments of National Signing Day, a big day yesterday. Again, CBS This Morning is coming up shortly with your eye opener, and they will have the latest on the Zika concerns as well as the IRS troubles. They're there at the CBS Broadcast Center in New York getting ready to go with that shortly. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest anytime, WKYT.com.
Yeah, we're looking across the way and seeing current traffic times looking pretty good. It's real-time traffic, so not seeing much go on. Now starting to get a little congested there inbound on Nicholasville and also sitting there on Richmond Road. But other than that, that's typical drive times as you're traveling across the region. Temperatures are in the 30s this morning. We'll actually finish off there in the 30s for most later on this afternoon at 36 to about 40 degrees. 40 degrees down south, mid-30s. Everywhere else, but we stay dry. Maybe a couple of flurries this morning. That's about it. Going off into the night and into tomorrow morning, starting off in the 20s, guys. But that rebounds very nicely. We'll be in there in the lower 40s as we approach tomorrow afternoon. Then the weekend in the 40s. Then next week, yeah, winter fights back. Harsh
Looks
winter,
like it.
too.
Yeah,
It's
get ready for
cold
that.
air and snow chances.
All right, don't put those coats anywhere,
That's
right?
right.
Just yet. Yeah. Well, nobody is more up to date than you to start your day because you chose WKYT for your first look at the day, and WKYT stands for Kentucky.
CBS This Morning is next. Have an awesome day.